Today we are continuing the summer sermon series, Why Church? I mean, of all the organizations and causes and communities to which we could give our lives, why choose to be part of a church? What does a church have that we are needing? This is the question that we will be lifting up and hearing echo all through this summer. As you might know, these days our world is reeling from an epidemic of loneliness. This had even been going on before the pandemic. You know someone who is struggling with loneliness. You might be someone who is struggling with loneliness. Now, a couple of things. First, it is entirely possible to live by yourself, to enjoy spending time by yourself, and not be lonely. And similarly, a person can be surrounded by people all the time and find themselves lonely. Loneliness is particularly rampant among the oldest adults who experience social isolation. I recently read an article about an initiative designed to try to alleviate this loneliness by giving seniors robot animals. Loneliness among our oldest adults is a problem, and maybe that's not entirely surprising. More surprising is the fact that loneliness is particularly rampant among our youngest adults. According to a study by Cigna, 71% of millennials and 79% of Gen Zers identify as lonely. That's perplexing because you might think they have all this social media right at their fingertips. But as it turns out, a person can have hundreds of friends on Facebook or followers on Instagram, subscribers on YouTube, and still be lonely. It's not about the number of contacts in our phones. When you think about it, most of us have oodles of transactional relationships, and transactional relationships do have their place. When I go to the dentist and pay money, the dentist comes in and counts my teeth. She's my dentist, I'm her patient, we get along swimmingly, but it's not like we're gonna go hang out after she reads the x-rays. Same thing, I take my car to the dealer for service. They are perfectly courteous, and I value them because they are fixing my car. They value me because I'm a paying customer. We all understand this. This is the whole story of our relationship. Transactional relationships have their place, but they don't answer loneliness. You have to go somewhere else for that. If you get poked and assessed by doctors at appointment after appointment, but there's no one who touches you with affection, then what do you have? If you have stunning test scores and grades in the stratosphere, if you have 400 likes on your post and 1,000 subscribers to your channel, but there's no one in your life who will come over and scrub your bathtub on the worst day, if there's no one who will sit next to you while you're crying and not mind that snot is oozing everywhere, then really, what do you have? Human beings are made to be in relationship. And all too often, our relationships go missing. And all too often, we blame ourselves. And here's the thing. Maybe we don't have to do that. Let's say we were to come upon a child who is hungry. Maybe it's a child in the back seat of a car that's coming through the food pantry. Maybe it's a child who's waiting online while Jeff is working the grill at National Night Out. What we know for sure is this child has not done something to deserve to be hungry. We know that being hungry is not their identity. It is a condition that will change once we give them something to eat. Well, it's the same thing. Being lonely is not our identity. It means we're noticing our need to be in relationship with someone who sees the truth of who we are and who loves us and who wants to hang out. This longing is not what's wrong with us. It is how we are human. Now, in the scripture we're about to hear, the church in Corinth is in the middle of a nasty fight. See, some people thought they were better than others because of their wealth or their political status. Some people thought they were better because they were able to speak in tongues. You and I know, whenever someone is trying to prove that they're better than somebody else, this really exposes how they are afraid. So really, what was going on in this church was that the members of the congregation were questioning their own worth. Even though they were part of a church, they were lonely, and Paul could see it. Now, I have to tell you, when you hear Alex read this, it's going to evoke memories of being at a beautiful wedding. So this is actually going to be pretty tough. But if you can, when you're hearing this, try to imagine that you're in the middle of a fight. It's about to get real. And that's when Paul, who had been lecturing this angry assembly, he just stops. You know what? Maybe try this instead, he tells them. Maybe the same thing you need to offer your enemies is what you could try to offer yourselves. And it's this.